Here's the result for the guy you filled out the survey for. He gets a C+. Plus. This guy is rather so-so. Not too good, not too bad. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you. Things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10-dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10-dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He's not someone who will go far in his career. While he might sound excited or talk about what he wants to do, he isn't likely to put in the hard work or take on tough challenges. When things get difficult, he's more likely to step back instead of pushing through.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he will not make a big scene, but he won't fight to fix things either. Instead of getting angry or upset, he quietly backs away and keeps to himself. He isn't the type to bounce back with new ideas or extra effort if something fails.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work might find him quiet and not very warm, but he's not the type to get into fights or arguments. He doesn't push his opinions or stand up strongly for himself, so he mostly avoids conflicts rather than starting them. Colleagues might not dislike him, but they may also not feel very close or inspired by him.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do well in your career, he probably won't get jealous or feel threatened, but he might not show much pride or excitement either. He tends to keep to himself and isn't deeply invested in expressing emotions, so don't expect big celebrations or supportive words. He won't try to bring you down, but he also won't lift you up.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you earn more than him, he is not likely to resent you or feel deeply insecure. He usually keeps his feelings locked inside and avoids emotional struggles. So don't expect heated arguments or silent grudges about your salary. He will just carry on quietly, not making a fuss or turning it into an issue.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He's quite careful with money and prefers things to be well organized. You won't see him making sudden or risky purchases, and he likes to stick to a routine when it comes to finances. He does not look for expensive thrills or impulsive buys, so you can usually depend on him to keep things steady.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He lives a life he can afford and prefers not to show off or pretend to be richer than he is. You won't find him borrowing money to buy flashy things or impress others with status. There's no showy side or need to keep up with others.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He tends to be tight with both his money and his mindset. He's careful and doesn't spend easily, often sticking closely to his budget and hesitating to help out unless it's really necessary. His way is to keep things limited and safe.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He's not likely to be secretive or controlling about money, but he also doesn't open up much. He keeps things simple and sticks to routines, so you probably won't have to worry about hidden spending or sneaky tricks. His style is quiet, steady, and straightforward when it comes to money.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He is not the type to eagerly share housework or jump in to help without being asked. He follows routines and likes things to be orderly, but that doesn't mean he feels responsible for all the chores. If you don't speak up, he might just expect you to handle most things by default.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He is more likely to help by watching or giving suggestions from the side rather than actually getting involved with chores or diapers. He likes things to be done in a certain way, but won't naturally step up and get his hands dirty. Don't expect him to notice what needs to be done or take much initiative.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He is not the kind of person who will argue just to prove he's right. In fact, he usually avoids arguments altogether and keeps his thoughts to himself. He may listen quietly, but then just go along with things to avoid any fuss, rather than truly connecting with what you need.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he is not likely to shout, say hurtful things, or act aggressive. Instead, he tends to bottle up his feelings and pull away, becoming distant or quiet. He avoids big dramas but often leaves issues unresolved, choosing silence over argument.
Does he have a bad temper?
He is not the kind of man who gets angry quickly. In fact, he keeps his emotions inside and is slow to show anger or frustration on the surface. While it's a relief not to face anger, remember, silence can also hide issues that never get solved.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He is not someone who will easily say sorry or openly take responsibility when something goes wrong. Most likely, he will just stay quiet or avoid the topic rather than blaming you or starting a fight. You probably won't hear him admit his mistakes or try to fix things directly.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He's unlikely to push past your boundaries or ignore your no. Because he keeps to himself and avoids conflict, he won't want to force you into anything that makes you uncomfortable. He may not be the most sensitive or understanding, but he will stick to whatever lines you draw and respect your wishes. You won't have to worry about him arguing or insisting if you say no. He will likely just accept it quietly.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
He is not the kind of man who takes it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. Instead of sulking or making you feel guilty, he will probably just accept it and keep things to himself. He may not offer comfort or ask how you feel, but he won't start a fight or try to pressure you.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can generally trust him to handle private moments with care. He's not the type to use your personal or intimate experiences against you, nor does he look for ways to cause hurt or embarrassment. He keeps things to himself and avoids drama, so your secrets and private times are safe with him.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is more likely to be faithful rather than easily distracted by other women. He prefers routines, avoids risks, and generally keeps to himself, which means he's not out chasing new excitement or looking for attention elsewhere. You won't see him flirting or getting caught up in drama with others.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He is not likely to be overpossessive, jealous, or controlling. Instead, he tends to keep to himself and doesn't get involved in drama or try to control your actions. He values his own space and is more comfortable letting you have yours.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, with him, a protective nature is not a sign of being controlling. He is not the type to micromanage your choices or keep you on a tight leash under the name of protection. He tends to be quiet and keeps his distance rather than stepping in or overstepping boundaries.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He is more likely to expect you to do most of the work when it comes to parenting. He might help with basic routines if clearly asked, but don't expect him to jump in or take initiative on his own. Clear and open talks will be needed if you hope to change this pattern.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he will usually stay calm and not lose his temper. He's not one to shout or get angry even when things go wrong. His calm is steady, but sometimes it can feel too distant when what's needed is comfort or gentle advice.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He is unlikely to fully support your role as both a mother and your own person. He may not stand in your way, but you probably won't feel much encouragement or appreciation from him either. While he avoids conflict and won't insist that you only focus on family, he also doesn't go out of his way to lift you up or celebrate your achievements.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, he could be the kind of man who quietly expects you to shift your priorities after having a child. While he might not openly stop you from working right now, he's not one to encourage or champion your career dreams either. After a baby, he may simply assume you'll take over most of the parenting and household work, expecting you to step back at your job without actually saying it out loud.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is more likely to act polite on the surface than show real warmth to your parents. He keeps to himself and doesn't naturally open up or form deep emotional bonds even with people close to you. Your parents might find him respectful and well mannered enough during visits, but they probably won't feel genuine affection or strong family connection from his side. He is not likely to make big efforts to adjust to your family, nor will he demand that they change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he will usually handle it by staying quiet and keeping his distance rather than making things worse. He doesn't get angry or start fights, but he also won't step in to solve the problem or support you actively. While his calmness can prevent drama, you might wish he was more involved or protective.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you, but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, he's the kind of man who might seem modern and easygoing with you in private, but quietly expect you to behave like a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives. He values order and routines, and when it comes to family gatherings or formal situations, he may hope you stick to expected roles without openly saying it. If you want to be fully yourself at all times, this quiet pressure could feel limiting or leave you feeling unseen.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he is much more likely to stay out of it rather than support you openly or side with his family. He avoids conflict and does not feel comfortable standing up in difficult situations. You might find him silent or keeping to himself when you really want him to back you up.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He is not necessarily a classic mummy's boy who always puts his mother first, but he also isn't likely to openly choose your side in a conflict with her. When tension arises, he tends to step back and avoid taking a strong stand at all. You may feel disappointed that he doesn't clearly support you when you need it most.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He is unlikely to share every detail of your fights or your private life with his mother or sister. He tends to keep things to himself and avoids talking too much about personal matters, even with close family. This means you don't have to worry much about your secrets being discussed behind your back.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
Based on all of this analysis, This guy gets a C plus. This guy is so so, not too good, not too bad, a bit mediocre. Day in and day out, being in a relationship with this man feels steady but can also be lonely and a bit one sided. He sticks to routines and avoids drama, so your home life will be calm and predictable.